Okay, welcome along to our very first podcast of Get in the Habit. My name's David Finch, and with me today is
Sue Allsworth.
So we've got this brand new podcast today, our very first episode, and we're going to set out in this episode what we're going to do. So, Sue, what are we going to do?
This is a really good question, isn't it? The idea came to me for Get in the Habit to produce a kind of like online studio. We can't go out at the moment. We can't go to the community centres and everything. And we're all of us professionals are working quite independently. And I think we need a bit of community within ourselves as well, and reaching out to people. So I wanted to start a virtual online studio community centre where lots of different therapists and professionals can put their meditations, do live different things, and to help us get back into the habit, because it's been a really disjointed year, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Definitely.
And even though we are used to our practices and daily practices and what have you, I don't know about you, but I know I've got out of the habit with a lot of things.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah.
It was about how can we get back into that habit. Let's talk about what those habits are. What habits are for some people might not be right for other people. And let's just explore what those healthy, well-being for the mind, body, soul habits can be to help us promote mental health, physical health, spiritual health.
Yeah, I think some of the habits that we used to have, maybe before March 2020, those habits are probably gone now. We've got new habits, and maybe they're good habits, maybe they're not. And this is probably what we're going to explore in the next episodes. We'll get today. This episode really is setting out, isn't it? Setting out what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Would it be fair that we say we'll make it up as we go along, though, Sue?
I would say that I am queen of winging it.
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, I wondered where I put the plan, and I couldn't find it. Where's my plan? I didn't have one.
I was just excited. You and I, we just get over the first time we met. I mean, this is the thing. Everything has changed, and we've met each other because of the circumstances.
Yeah.
This year.
That's right.
If without that, we would not actually be sitting here making this podcast and winging it, as they say.
Yeah.
It's amazing, as you say, how much has changed. Our habits have changed. A lot more people are walking, which they may not have done either before, because that's our allowed time to go out.
Yeah.
And different things. So it is amazing. Even for me, I know my habits have changed, and then you sort of have a period where you drop habits, and then it's really hard sometimes to get back in that habit, isn't it? Get in the habit once again. And so, I thought it would, we gelled.
Yeah.
And we've got lots of topics and subjects that we want to bring to you, to the listeners, and with guest speakers, I believe, as well, David.
That's right. Yeah, we've got some guest speakers lined up, which is brilliant. Thanks to you, Sue. It would be nice, actually, to enlighten our listeners, certainly in this first episode, of how we met and our connection as such. I'm based in South Wales. Sue's based in... remind me again, I know you're in Kent. Whereabouts?
I'm in Folkestone.
Folkestone. It is Kent, is it? Folkestone still comes under Kent, doesn't it? Yeah, of course it does. I haven't moved the boundaries just yet.
No, I can still see France
on
a good day.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good. So you're in Folkestone. I'm in Ebbw Vale. That's where my office is anyway, for Life and Soul Radio, and my therapy centre, which again, a habit. If we go back to our habits, pre-March, I had a habit of every day going to the therapy centre. Come March, I spent most of March, April, May, probably June as well, in the garden, doing gardening and, repairing this, that and the other and so on. And probably like a lot of other people, We met on Life and Soul Radio because you did an interview with me.
We did. I saw you put a shout out on one of the Facebook pages. And at the time, I was also starting the Mind, Body, Soul Summits. And so that's kind of how we then blended together, because I know that you're coming on one of our summits in December for the Release with Gratitude. And then we've just kind of And then with me starting wanting to start, not the summits are just going to be quarterly, but wanting to start something that's more regular for people to access. And another reason for the Get in the Habit studio was because, and this came pre-COVID, I've been a carer most of my life as well. And physical events are all really well and good for the people that can afford to get there or can physically get there or mentally get there. And there's a whole big demographic. I know when I had depression and suffered panic attacks, the last thing I'd want to do is be in a room full of people.
Mm.
So it was like, well, how can we get all of that out there? And someone asked me the other day, actually, it was interesting, and I'm going to write a blog, I think, about it. Why come to our studio and pay for the sessions when you can get most of what you want actually free on YouTube?
Yeah.
And the reason being is it's to get you in the habit, to make you accountable. How many times do we say, oh, I'll do an exercise session, I'll do a yoga session from YouTube a bit, and then that time comes and you're like, oh, maybe I'll just watch another episode of this box set or whatever it is. And by actually having to, invest, I know times are hard, money's hard, but you still need to invest in yourself, and we've hopefully kept it affordable. But you've got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
And that's for everyone, anyone and everyone. So by doing it all online, it means that it's much more inclusive for people.
And the online audience can be massive, effectively, rather than if you run a Mind, Body and Soul event in Folkestone, you would only attract people from the Folkestone area, really, wouldn't you? A few people might travel.
Done. In the past, it's actually, it's been really difficult sometimes.
Yeah, and it's the same in South Wales. I've been to quite a few Mind, Body and Soul events, Mind, Body and Spirit events, some people call them, but similar sort of events, and they are local people. Most times, if I go to the same one all the time, they tend to be the same audience that are coming back every time as well. And you get to know people, and as they come in, oh, hello there, and they have a little chat, and they've seen you 3 or 4 times before, which is okay in some ways, but in other ways, you want to spread your audience and to have a bigger audience and spread your word, because you've got some great stuff that you offer. I've got some great stuff I offer. Spread your word to other people, to a wider audience.
Exactly. And I think one thing that I've noticed and learned, again, why listen to this podcast over in other podcasts that are probably saying very similar things? And that is because I think we're actually all coming at it from a very similar place. We've all there's nothing really new in our area. We're just all using very similar techniques, but putting our own unique spin on them with our own authentic words and experience behind it. And that touches some people, and other people, you could have 10, I always say you could have 10 people doing exactly the same thing, but that one person who wants to listen or watch them will be drawn to one person in particular, because you buy almost into people and energy and personalities, don't you?
Definitely.
So everyone, why us? Well, why not us?
Why not? Why not indeed? Yes. You're right, Sue. I tell you what, and I would have argued this fact pre-March time, that on video you lose some of that connection that you were just talking about there, where you feel about a person, you feel a connection with that person. Yet we have connected over Zoom. We've never met face to face, and who knows? We may never meet face to face, but we may. You never know. However,
I'm gonna hunt you down.
yeah. I've got a big wire fence around my house now. Don't worry. Guard dogs the lot. Just in case. But we certainly have created a certain connection through the use of Zoom. As it is. Yes. I mean, the makers of Zoom must be loving things at the moment, because so many people are using Zoom.
Everything that when these things happen in the world, some businesses flourish, some will, but then it will all be recycled and work its way. That's just the cycle of life, isn't it? But no, it's amazing. I had a few years ago, I had some study sessions, and it was done but on Zoom, because it was someone who lived down on the west coast of England. And that was my first experience of actually doing a sort of like coaching sessions and study sessions on Zoom. And I realised actually, I actually really much, to some degree, prefer it because I can energetically protect myself better. And once that session has finished, especially when I'm holding groups myself, quite often, and I mean this with all the love in my heart, but when you've got physical groups, people are loitering at the end. When you've been busy working, you need to pack up, you've got to close the venue, whatever it is, and as much as you don't want to stop that chat, whereas this way, it's sort of like, right, it's sort of, you can do better time management. It's right, it's 9 o'clock, time off, that's it, meeting's closed. But it's amazing how much you can connect. I think the video does help rather than just being audio, because I think you need that. Although we are just recording audio now, we're on video together, so we can actually see each other, read each other's body language, and I think that does help. And I know when I'm getting new speakers for the Mind Body Soul Summits and for the studio, I will always have, if it's someone I don't know, got to have a video call with them first. Got to check that, and you can still check with the energy. You can still check that authenticity from people, can't you?
Maybe the next thing, Sue, is a YouTube channel as well. A Get in the Habit YouTube channel. You never know. And then we could have our happy faces on there.
well, I've already got a YouTube channel, so I'm just thinking, actually, why aren't we recording this on video now?
Why aren't we? There we are. Yeah, a bit late now, but never mind. I'll tell you what, this is fantastic, isn't it? Shall we round it up for this one, because this is our pilot episode, to tell people about what we're doing and how they can find us. And of course, you can find us on Podbean, getinthehabit.podbean.com. If you go to the Podbean app, you'll be able to type in Get in the Habit, and you'll be able to find us that way, which you probably did find us that way. But there you are. Eventually, we'll have lots of other ways that people can find us as well.
Well, you'll have put these out on your Life and Soul radio station. They will be on there. That you do. Mine will be on the Authentic Smile website and the Mind Body Soul Summits website. So if you're wanting to look up for any events in the studio or the summits, that would be the place to pop on over and have a look.
Brilliant. Okay.
We're everywhere, really, Dave, aren't we?
Well, we are, aren't we? Yeah. We we definitely need to be on that YouTube as well. Get on there. We'll leave that one to you, Sue. Brilliant. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for listening to our very first podcast, and we will see you very soon in the next episode, where we actually really do talk about habits. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you.
If you've enjoyed today's podcast, why not join us again for our next podcast, or subscribe to our channel, Get in the Habit.
Yeah, if you've enjoyed today, get in the habit with us on a weekly basis. Subscribe. You can also find Get in the Habit on YouTube, and you can find me at Authentic Smiles, Sue Allsworth, and you also Get in the Habit with the studio, the Mind Body Soul Studio, on the mindbodysoulsummits.com.
And you can find my details at davidfinch.co.uk or on social media, David Finch Hypnotherapy. See you again soon.
Take care.